All right, let's see how this one goes. I know it's true. It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all because of you. And now and then, if we must start again, well, we will know for sure that I will love you. Ramblecast.
I was wondering where the fuck that's going to come
miss
in.
you. Oh, the Ramblecast. I want to be there. Wait, I missed the word. For me. Always return to me. That's such an eerie song, but yeah.
We'll
Nice.
fix that in post. We'll fix
You'll
that
fix
in
it in
post with
post.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We should have
we'll
had
use AI.
we should have had a video where we were popping in and we were younger and we were older and we were dead and the whole thing.
Force ghosts.
Yeah.
As I mentioned in the chat, this is probably the most recent song Nick has ever covered on the.
Well, it is over 40
I mean-
something years old.
I mean, it's
No,
a
no,
week
but-
old.
From the release of the song to you performing it as the opening track, it's the quickest turnaround.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
just looked
also
it up.
your last song.
That's my
guys.
last song. Yeah, that's the last one. Done. So I'm out.
That was a good
Fine.
song. I liked it. Like Chris, I was going, okay, this is great, but it has nothing to do with the Ramblecast.
No,
Does he
of
love us?
course not.
Which one does he
There's a
love?
couple-
Which one of
There's
us
a
does he
couple times
love?
where
That's
I've done that though, where I've just sang a song. It's been a long
Like
time
that.
ago.
I mean, you guys are probably a little bit more connected to all things Beatles, but that came out of nowhere for me. I don't know about you guys, but were you expecting that video?
No, I was expecting
I was.
it.
Yeah, I knew that it was in the works, and it was
I had no
coming.
idea. It's like when Jay posted the last song by the Beatles, I go, all right, big deal. We've all heard it.
No,
But
no,
they played together. I mean, they're up on top of the roof. I'm like going, okay. Then I was like going, oh, I get it now. Okay.
No, Yoko gave George a tape back in '93 or '4 with 3 songs on it: "Three's a Bird," "Real Love," and "Now and Then."
Was she on there and they just edited her out?
That's why they didn't want to, make this last one until
It's
no,
only you.
I mean, all
That
3
also
of them
kind
were
of-
just very rough demos.
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because the plan was always that with Anthology 3, that a third song was going to appear, and they never did that.
Were these
So-
3 songs supposed to be on like his next album before he got killed? Is that
No,
they were just unfinished songs that he
Okay.
had.
Yeah, in the period between
I'm saying was
75
that-
and 80. No,
was he working on these songs?
Yeah,
No.
he just had demo tapes. Like
Yeah,
But I'm saying, you
but
hear what I'm
They
saying? though.
weren't. There was Milk and Honey. He was actually working on that album. Like that was the next album that he was working on. But those songs weren't going to appear on that.
no.
So
Jack, from what I know about these songs, and there's other ones I'm sure that are out there, just like bits and pieces, is that between 75 and 80, he kind of just hung his guitar on the wall and didn't do much. But every now and then, he just something would hit him, and he would just do a quick demo of it.
Well, it was Yoko. That's
And,
what was hitting him.
But no, like the songs off of the Double Fantasy and Milk and Honey were all just like last minute inspirations when he took his trip to Bermuda. So these were just songs that had just been sitting there.
He wrote the song for the Beach Boys.
But to answer your question, Chris, though, yeah, we always knew about this song, but it was a very primitive tape, and that they announced it, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, or maybe even
It was
way
Peter
before
King
that.
had the technology to
Peter
make it look
King.
Peter
Who's
Jackson.
that, Jack?
Yeah.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Peter King. I don't give a fuck. I don't watch his movies, but
Yeah,
Just that I'm giving him shit.
that's what they did. Is it because like
He's
this
look, I'm late. I have guests coming.
Peter King's an NFL guy who's, he's no John Clayton. I'm sorry.
He's no
Yeah,
Peter Jackson, that's for sure.
basically
Who
for
did
the
King
Get Back documentary that he did, they kind of invented this new AI technology to isolate certain parts of tapes.
Right.
And so that's what gave them the technology to say, like, okay, we want to wipe John's piano piece and we just want to take the vocal and like fix it. And then, Paul played the piano and the bass, and then Ringo played the drums.
What is that
I'm
noise?
not sure who played the lead.
And Mama was on the jug band.
Yeah.
It sounds like a jug band, kind of like a.
Oh yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
Is that Chris? Are you?
Hee haw.
Are you?
Is it me?
Where
I bet it
was
sounds like
last
a-
night? Why did you leave me here all alone?
Chris's
Yeah, I
paper addiction is gonna.
I kind of had mixed feelings about the track though. Like the first couple times I heard it, because it's better than Real Love. I felt, I still like Free as a Bird probably the best of the three, but
I always liked the Real Love version that was on the Imagine soundtrack. So it's hard for me to
the demo.
It's hard for me to unhear that version because it's at its purest form.
right.
So and yeah, the version that they did, it was okay. Free as a Bird was good. I actually like this one in some ways just because it did come out later. And that it does have this kind of, all three of those songs, I think, any of the posthumous songs, we talked about this last week, they kind of exist in their own kind of space. It's almost like, the, which is, it's kind of cool. It's cool that we get that, it's, but I thought the lyrics were really powerful, like actually hearing John's voice, and those lyrics, and then when the George Harrison guitar comes in, it's really
I'm not
nice.
sure if George is actually playing that, because I know that George did not like the track. He was very adamant about not including it on the anthology. And
it's fucking rubbish.
Yeah, well, he's even there's another video of him out there going, I can't wait until I can't do his accent. I can't wait until I
piece of shit.
I can't wait until I bugger off. He goes, and someone else can pick up and finish all of my rubbish tracks. But because Paul said something in the longer kind of like short documentary they did about that he goes, George had done some lead for the track, but I think what they did was they got someone else that could imitate George's style and just kind of said, listen to this and trying to imitate that. I don't think it's really George playing on the track, but they'll never admit that. But I don't think that's George.
He's
Now I don't like it. I want it to be George.
Nixon election doesn't denier.
I'm a track denier. Yeah. Well, I could see it. It probably was a couple of rough, takes, almost 30 years ago, and there was like, oh, it's not really good enough to stick on the track.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd rather have a little bit of Beatles than none at all, I guess. So
I'm not crapping on it. if that's what you're,
No, I don't. I don't think
didn't. Yeah, it seemed like you were crapping.
You've crapped on enough things. I didn't think that. Chris is saying a little bit, but again, the first time I heard it, and again hearing John's voice and those lyrics, I thought those lyrics were really powerful because they, I feel like he always sang those things from a point of like, passion.
No return.
So.
I always wonder about stuff like that. Those demo tapes, is that like just like a one take thing? Like, did he just is it coming off the top of his head, or is it something he played around with for a few days and then said, okay, now let's put it down?
Yeah.
Well, let's ask. How's Yoko?
Let's ask
91. We'll ask Yoko. We'll have her on the show.
Yeah, she's got it. She's in the early 90s for sure. Because she's
Of course,
11 years
of course,
older
she'll come
than
on
John.
the show, and then we'll break up. So it'd be our last podcast. I think I saw she's 91. I was like, wow. But I guess
No,
She was
she's got to
old.
be older than 91. I mean, is it 9 years? She's either 9 years or 11 years older than John. I can't remember. But because John would have been, he just returned 83. And so,
Okay, then she
yeah,
maybe
90.
maybe
yeah.
she turns 92 this year.
Says that she's 90.
90.
So-
Okay, I was thinking she was a lot older. Okay, I'm wrong then.
Wow. So she's still young enough to come on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you focused on.
Yeah. 91's pushing it. That's pushing. I mean, I'm only 30.
I don't know.
I'm only 30 years away from 91.
I saw Dick Van Dyke dance in Mary Poppins Returns, and I was impressed.
He's a freak of nature.
He just stood in place and they just CGI'd his legs.
He's like Betty, he's like Betty White. You can't lose him. I mean, he's what, 97 now?
She's dead, Jack.
I know, but we were all
just fucking cursed him. He's gonna die this week.
She died at 99, dude.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You said 97. Check the
No, I said is Dick Van Dyke 97, asshole.
I saw a blooper.
I think he's 94. I'll look it up.
I saw a Golden Girls blooper the other day, which I thought was pretty funny because you know that B. Arthur and B. Arthur couldn't stand Betty White, and there's a scene between the two of them.
And she didn't like Rue McClanahan, whatever her name is.
Okay, Jack's fucking right. He's 97 goddamn years old. Okay, like you win. Jeez. Chalk one up for this guy. He's jacking off there over there.
We only have one person. People must not know the show's out because we only have one person in the chat.
Did you even post
See,
it?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I did. I posted it.
Just
I just
another
went and
effort
pinned
to
him.
get John the retired guy to
Richard
not watch our
Grieco's
show
58,
live.
but he looks older
There you
than
go.
Dick Van Dyke.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dick Van Dyke probably still can pull more than Richard Grieco. Just saying.
Well,
that would be an interesting, like, you know, like one of those like late night show, like street interview somebody and you show a picture of Richard Grieco and Dick Van Dyke, like who would you bone? You know?
It's like
Wow.
women and men coming out of clubs at night.
Yeah,
in
like
New York,
you,
just right off the street.
One or the other. You have to pick one. Which one is it?
That's Dick Van Dyke, man. With Dick in the name. So
who would you do? Who would you do?
Let's do.
I bet you.
Rico. How's he doing? These
Probably
days?
just do an
Most
entire
people wouldn't even know who Richard Grieco is
No, exactly. I mean, most people
because
know who
he
Dick Van
doesn't.
Dyke
He
is
doesn't
either.
look. Well, I think people
back,
like.
back to Nick's idea. I think you could come up with a whole TikTok, YouTube. You know, that's a content thing bottled in of itself. Who would you do? You know,
Who would you do?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a marry, fuck, kill thing. You know?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, so the Golden Girls blooper was it's just funny because basically, you know how in Golden Girls, the Betty White's character always had like those really simple-minded country stories that were just didn't go anywhere, and that her line was supposed to be, "I sold something out of a road stand," you know, but she says we sold. We had a blah 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 road stand, you know, and B. Arthur realizes that she said the line wrong and just turns around and says, "No, you did. You know, you sold this." And then B. Arthur Betty White realizes that she messed up, but she goes, "You have no idea what I was selling out of my stand." You know, but it's just like implying that she was being a hooker.
Well,
but
B. Arthur didn't like a lot of people.
Yeah, like apparently her process was just like a lot of actors, very different than other people's, and
She was a bitch.
yeah, she was a bitch. But like,
Well, who's that comedian does all the roasts? Bob? Is it Ross? Not Bob Ross.
Oh yeah, Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross, and he said I wouldn't. He said something like I wouldn't fuck.
got something
I wouldn't
right.
fuck you with B. Arthur's dick.
right.
Right.
And then I guess B.
Arthur was there.
Yeah, and so
Right.
she said, and she, yeah, I think so. And then she, he was afraid afterwards, but she said it was funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the worst to me rip on her was from the movie Airheads, which is, you know, the metal band trying to make it big but don't want to play their tape, so they break into a radio station to force them to play their tape on the air. And if you guys have never seen it, you should see it. But it's Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler and Brendan Fraser.
Well,
But when the police finally find out that they break into this radio station, you know, when they make their list of demands, it's all stuff that's crazy. And the guy's like, what's up with this list? It says, so we can plead insanity later in court. And one of the demands is nude pictures of B. Arthur.
Well, she was in that Star Wars special, right?
That's the best
Yeah,
punk
yeah,
on her.
the
I was gonna say, like, that's the biggest insult on her. I mean, she was just like, hey. But even in then, she's like, she's a ball buster. She's running the cantina. She's getting the aliens out.
She was great. Her show Mod was excellent. It was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding. It was funny.
Did you go ahead.
Probably couldn't say it. Probably couldn't be on TV now, but
the trailer for the next Tom Hanks Spielberg show just got released. Jack, if you hadn't seen it yet.
The new what?
The Masters of the Air, Masters of the Sky.
Oh, it's out?
Yeah, the trailer is.
Oh, the trailer. I've seen the trailer, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Did you have something to say?
So Richard Grieco was on a reality show recently. How do we not fucking know this?
For real?
Really?
Yeah. So he was on
Almost Dead
3 of Gone Country, a reality show in which musicians who work in other genres compete in becoming a country singer.
Well, how is Richard Grieco fitting?
Did he?
I have no idea.
Did he have a song?
He also released a song.
Oh wow!
During the COVID pandemic in 2020, he released his first album in 2020.
Wow! Where were we?
Not well. Clearly, this didn't go anywhere.
Not on Richard Grieco.
Where are our loyal listeners to tell us this? Yeah, why?
It has what? It has a. We should ask him to be on the show. Say, hey. I'm
serious in thinking that
him about
perhaps
the thing is, he probably gets the same questions like over and over again. Like something.
What the fuck happened to you?
Well, he'll get any question about 21 Jump Street. He'll get a question about if looks could kill, and then what the fuck happened, man? Like,
poor guy.
My God.
I hope
I'm gonna have to find this this show and see if we can get us some clips of it. That's probably
I hope Grieco is on the same Amazing Race that Jack and Cindy will be on.
Also, guys, if you don't know, the very first episode of For All Mankind season 4 was just released 30 minutes ago.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. Today's November 10th. I mean, tomorrow's November 10th.
Yeah, but the first episode was already released tonight.
I'm gonna have to get Apple TV again. My wife's gonna happy about that.
Wait a few weeks until you get more episodes. Then.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I'm really close to finishing. This long Star Trek binge. I've got.
Oh yeah.
I've got one season left. I'm on the last season, 20 some episodes and counting, and it's like honing in on this like. Anyway, I did take a break from my big binge to watch Killing It. And that show is funny. If you haven't checked out Killing It and you have Peacock, you got the cock?
I got the cock.
I don't think any.
Okay.
Killing It.
So
who's in that?
Is it Killing It or Killing It?
Killing It.
So is it
Killing It?
Killing as in the monster It?
Well, there is some killing involved.
That's
but it's got Craig Robinson from The Office who played Daryl.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the main characters. There is another character that's introduced who's an Australian actress, and she is hilarious. She really kind of helps balance. Actually, the show is really done well. They have episodes where they'll just focus on a character and kind of let you see out the story. But worth a binge though. There's 2 seasons, 18 episodes. You could probably binge it in 2 days easily. Jack would do it in one night. But you'll have some laugh out loud, funny moments, and surprising moments of nudity too. You're like, whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting this from that show.
That's a plus.
Yeah,
maybe.
Oh, is it male nudity?
Yeah, there's
it's a little bit of both.
There's nudity in The Shining too.
Just warning you. There's a really funny moment where he's at
Johnny. Is that what you call it? Okay, I'm
he's
sorry.
at a gym, and there's a guy that's trying to find a quarter or something underneath, and you just see everything. You're just like, ah. And he's trying to have a conversation with his daughter as he's watching this unfold. But
So have you finished The
we're
Killing
checking out.
or Killing?
I watched it. Yeah, I binged
Okay,
it. And,
now since you have the cock, watch the
Mhm.
British show Code 404.
Code 404. Well,
It's
I
a
gotta
British
get
show.
through my other show.
Well, I'm telling you,
But
this
I
is
will.
two
Did you
shows.
say now you have the cock?
Now that you have the
Yeah.
cock,
We're
Peacock.
referring to Peacock as just
Oh,
the
Jesus
cock.
Christ.
where were you
Pay attention,
5
Chris.
minutes
Stop looking
ago?
up stuff. He's been looking up. He's been listening to Richard Grieco.
Code 404. He's on a deep dive, man. He's gonna let us
Yeah,
know.
it's
what's
a
going
British
on with-
show, and it's mainly about a cop who dies, but he's brought back
Okay.
to life a year later. But he's got like robotic, and it's hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, I've talked about it before. But,
I legit wrote it down on my pad of color.
I believe you.
I did not write cock.
I got the cock. And then your wife comes down and goes, "What?
What?
I did.
Go ahead.
I did want to say that I'm a pretty stupid person. I'm gonna say that, especially when it comes to music. I've been listening to a lot of Huey Lewis and the News because my grandkids love Huey Lewis and the News. I've gotten my youngest, not the youngest one, he's 15 months old. He'll dance to it. As soon as I put him in the high chair, he turns around and looks at Alexa. I said, "Play Huey Lewis and the News." Well, I'm listening to Back in Time. Now, when this came out, what, in 1985?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I
After the
think I
future.
had
I watched that on the TV today.
Oh, okay. And I saw it in the theater originally when it came out. I had the albums. You know, I was a Huey Lewis and the News fan. Saw him in concert and all that stuff. So I'm not someone who listens to the lyrics. I just don't.
Oh.
But I was doing something and I was listening to the lyrics. I go,
He wasn't really known for his lyrics.
oh, wait a minute. He's talking about getting back in time, not going back in time. He's talking about getting back, and it's like it's there. It's going both ways. I always assumed it was just going back in time, back to the past. And I go,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute. He's talking about going back. He needs to get back in time. Huh. So this song came out, 1985? That's 38 years ago.
Yeah.
38. You're on mute there, Chris.
They're listening to Richard Grieco right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah. We shouldn't all just listen to it. Someone's got to talk. Hopefully it's not me.
Is that him?
That's all I heard.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's me. That's how stupid I am. I go, fuck, I never realized that was about getting back in time.
What's
I think
interesting
we lost
about
Jack.
What's interesting about songs for movies is that I figure what happens is that they're going to make a movie, but they're not quite sure. And they go, "Oh, let's get Huey Lewis to write a song about this movie," and they don't really have anything to go off of other than the title and a few things. Because even if you listen to Goldeneye that came out for the movie Goldeneye, James Bond, Tina Turner, I don't know, I doubt she wrote the song, but she sings about Goldeneye as if it's a person, which is a safe assumption that Goldeneye was probably a person like anything
Right.
else. But Goldeneye was not a person. So when you listen to the song, actually listen to the lyrics, you're like, what the fuck is she singing about?
We don't need another
Well,
hero.
There was what movie was it? It was about Top Gun. And then I was listening to an interview with Kenny Loggins, and he was talking about the movie and how you could pitch a song for a certain scene for the movie. And so he was pitching songs for ones that he thought would make it as opposed to not make it. So
So you had you weren't guaranteed a spot.
You weren't guaranteed a shot, but if you submitted that song for that and they were like, "Oh, this one sounds good. We're going to go with this," then they would pick it up for
Danger Zone. Yeah.
I learned something about
Danger
that
Zone's
soundtrack.
good, but he does do Playing with the Boys, right?
Yeah, it does. Yes.
And he talked about that, and he thought no one's going to pitch something for the volleyball scene. That's going to be the hardest One, and so he
Checking
thought
my
if-
watch, sucking in my gut.
If he pitches for that,
Goose
he's surely going to get
on.
a song on there. And if you get one song on there, then you might get another one. And so he was kind of pitching both.
That was pretty
both that and-
ingenious, yeah. Because I mean, who would come up with a song for that?
Yeah,
I learned about that soundtrack though, the romance song, the "Take My Breath Away" by Europe or whoever it was by Berlin.
The awkward moment that you had to sit with your dad.
Right.
Which is beautifully adapted in Hot Shots, by the way. Part D.
Yes.
He cooks the egg on her fucking stomach.
Little sizzling belly. Yeah, I love both of those movies so much. The Hot Shots are so good.
So good.
But they didn't write that song. Like someone else wrote "Take My Breath Away," and that band had to put out a few records, but had never had a hit. And then, of course, that became their hit. And whoever gave them that song only ran it by the lead singer. And so she's like, "Yeah, let's do it because we'll be in a soundtrack and it'll give us exposure." And the band broke up after that.
Was it Berlin?
Berlin,
Yeah.
I think was the name of the group.
Yeah, I think it's Berlin.
Because it was such a
Oddly
argument
from
of like
Kansas.
art.
Yeah. Well, the wall came down, so they had to stop. So.
I don't know. I just said oddly from Kansas.
Yeah.
You know,
They were part
Okay,
of the not so strong wave of new wave music back in the 80s. Berlin was. That wave went right out the window.
Right out the window. But before I forget, happy anniversary, Chris.
Yes, thank you. It's not our wedding anniversary.
Just 20 years together.
oh,
Yeah, it was
I did-
Nice.
That's a accomplishment. 20 years, but I did have a question. Can you take off your hat for a second?
Sure.
Okay, one of the pictures you posted, it looked like your hair was really thinning back. Did you get plugs? I mean, just curious. No. Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
That's kind of personal, Jack. What the hell?
I don't care. I'm allowed to talk about baldness because
sure. I mean, you're an ambassador for baldness.
I mean,
Exactly.
okay, but if he got a boob job, would you ask him?
if Chris got a boob job, yes, I would ask him.
Yeah,
I'd fucking show you.
I think well,
it's like
I do
like
know most
summer
women
rental.
would-
You want to see him?
I would.
I'm an influencer. Anyway.
Hey, Chris, can you?
Now I'm going to be all
take off-
self-conscious about my thinning hair. Thanks,
Can
Jack.
you,
It's okay. It's okay. Mine's thinning too.
There's
I mean, and
there's
again, everyone's
moments,
thin.
there's
I mean, I'm
yeah.
thin a little bit in the middle. You know,
Yeah, you got the good comb forward thing going on.
yeah, I got the
Trump
never-
haircut.
never lose that.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, can you just take off your shirt real quick?
Yeah. That was
All right,
fucking-
Nick's gonna ask, hey, can you take off your pants? That's gonna be the next one.
I just,
Thank you, Jeff.
at least for those that don't join us live, and just listen to the audio podcast, this is what you miss.
Randy says if Chris gets a boob job, the patrons will double.
Oh yeah, let's go. All right.
Especially on the TikTok, I think
Yeah,
you'll
there
really
you go.
rack in some.
We're booming.
Gotta have some boobin.
Boobing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Chris. I know.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so 20 years today. My wife and I have been together, which is
Wow.
kind of wild.
Wild and wacky. I'm coming up on 35 years.
You poor bastards.
35 years.
we celebrated our 19-year anniversary on the 30th, but we've known each other for 21 years. So I met her in 2002. So
Yeah, I've known Cindy well, but I didn't like her when we first. She was just not a nice person. So
That's why you like it.
like
we
she
didn't get
completes
along.
me.
We're too similar. That's what you were thinking.
No. She literally would come out at work. She'd look at me and just slam the door shut, and I go, I don't know what I've done to this chick. I
Right.
have no idea.
Maybe you called her.
I gotta fix it.
Figure
Yeah.
skaters, man.
You
Figure
immediately
skaters.
win it.
They're a different
Yeah.
breed.
Yeah, exactly. They are. They're selfish because
I like
they're.
to think
I think most sports where you're an individual because you don't learn teamwork, right? So you're a bit selfish.
Mhm.
Not everyone. Some people have, obviously
Well,
are not, but I think
but the
figure skating is
majority
one
of
of those
figure
sports where you're
skaters
Are selfish.
Is what you're saying. Okay. I just like the idea, Jack, that you walked into this relationship already like a husband. You're like, fuck, I don't know what I've done to this woman. I gotta fix it.
Yeah, I have no idea what I did. You know what you did?
And
no, I don't. I don't think I've
do what I
taught you.
can. I'll do what I can to fix it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just don't
I'm
get
already
it.
sorry. Please.
Well, she was pregnant with Jay when she first started working there.
Oh,
she would just walk by with a bitchy attitude, and I was like going, I don't know what I did. I don't know.
she's pregnant with Jay.
Yeah, well, that probably had a lot to do with it. Anyway, so 35 years.
Jack, I think
Congrats.
you watched this show. You know, Upload season 3 is out.
I did see that, yes, and I go, hey, wait, I used to, because it's been a couple years since that, right?
The first season came out in 2020, and I want to say early 2022 was season 2.
I saw that.
Season 2 was very short because they could only make so many episodes during the peak of COVID.
That's right.
I remember the show you're talking about.
It's
I
hilarious.
didn't watch it,
I said,
remember.
wait a minute. I used to watch that show. So
What
I got
streaming
this long
is that on?
list of shows I got to watch.
It's on Amazon,
Same.
as well as Invincible season 2 is back.
I need to
Is
start
that
back. There's so much I need to watch.
I did start Lawman Bass Reeves on Paramount.
What a
That
title!
show seems like right up your alley.
Lawman,
You know what I mean?
Bass Reeves. Oh, it's true
Bass
story about
Reeves.
Bass Reeves.
I have been having the hardest time trying to finish watching Invasion. Like,
Okay, I was going to bring that up too. Yeah,
every episode I watch, I give less of a fuck about that show. For me, I don't know what it is. I'm saying
We've lost
on
all
off.
communication.
I'm on the very last episode of season 1, and it's one of those things like Chris. I still am of the same opinion. Is that I'm intrigued with the story, but I don't care about any of the characters.
Not one.
I
But
hate that when that happens.
the season 1 didn't get interesting until the next to last episode. It's like, why did it take so long for it to get halfway good?
Well, that's the problem. If you don't care about the characters,
Yeah.
you're not going to care about the show.
Yeah,
Well,
season
Jack,
two.
you missed-
Season 2 definitely develops the characters more, no doubt about it. And you get like a little bit more of a 3 different storylines you're following. Not 3 or is it 4? I can't.
Well, you
remember.
have the soldier, you have the English kids, you have the Indian family, and then the Japanese, and that's the other 4.
So 4. There's 4 storylines, and it appears as if they're slowly but surely making their way back to center of like all 4 groups. You know what I mean?
That's
But
on
it's
Apple TV.
It's on Apple,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's not. It's like I said to Chris last week, Jack, before you joined, is that it's kind of like it's nowhere near Manifest bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad show.
God, no.
But it's
no.
it's
That's
one of
a
those,
new mark. That's a new mark for a bad show.
Manifest is definitely my top 5 worst shows of all time. But
Nice.
as in Manifest, the reason why you watched it is because you wanted to know the end. You wanted to know what the mystery was, and it's kind of like the same with this one. It's like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? Where are these weird blob things coming from? Like, but it's not. It's not the characters. You're not really interested in that.
I again, because I know Flash Forward, they made a huge mistake in the beginning. They had a pretty good story, and it was pretty good. Okay, I want to know what's going on, but they didn't do a good job of building the characters. I didn't care about anybody. It wasn't until after they came back from, I don't know if it was a strike or there was some kind of break during that time. They came back and they retooled it, and they made the characters interesting, but by then it was too late.
Yeah,
people had stopped watching. If they would have started out that way with the story that because the Flash Forward was, I can't really remember what happened, but I remember it was like, okay, what's going on? I want to find out. Like you were like Manifest or like Invasion, but it's like, okay, I can't stand any of these characters. But when they came back, I said it just had more holes than a kitchen sponge. That was
what? Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Got more leaks than a screen door on a battleship.
No, that's from The Thing. Your story has more holes than a kitchen sponge. I was loaded, okay? Loaded.
No.
You guys don't remember that thing?
No, but the thing is, when you say something like that, I think of other things like the anti-drug commercials of the '80s of like, where'd you get this? I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you. Like, like just the way you delivered it.
And I was like,
you know?
yeah, okay, all right, you are listening to me. You are paying attention. That's good.
I always think that you're going to say the opposite of what you want. Like, it's got more holes than an orange. You know, like something that doesn't have holes. So that's where my mind goes.
No, it's from the show. And anyone who's watched Flash, did you guys watch Flash Forward?
I watched the first so many episodes, and then
we didn't have to do a podcast over, so we didn't have to be.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. But no, if Google Chris, go on YouTube and
do it.
Say Flash Forward, more holes in a kitchen sponge, and people have like changed it, and
I thought you were talking about the Flash.
No, I had stopped watching the Flash because everyone became a superhero. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, no, that's what ruined the Flash TV show. But I will say this: I watched the Flash on HBO Max with my son.
The movie, yeah,
the movie. I was really pleasantly surprised by it. You know, even though horrible things about the actor, I don't really care about him, and I feel like that they should have done something with. I feel like they should have just had CW make the transition over. I think that would have been cool, or even acknowledge it in this. But it was cool, and it was cool to see Michael Keaton as Batman again.
Yeah,
so that is.
I think that was the main draw. You know, I don't know a lot of people who
main draw
just for his.
Yeah,
you making fun of me, Jack?
I'm frozen.
I mean, we get to have that Batman one more time.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
I mean, it's cool. So, but even the story with the Flash, I thought it, you know, what they did with it was fun. So,
I'm gonna go see the Holdovers tomorrow. Oh, we lost Jack. Okay. Do you guys know the Holdovers? That movie? You've seen the previews for that? So it's Paul Giamatti, and it looks really good. It's got a 98 right now on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's got to be pretty good. But basically, it's I think it's somewhere in New England. I'm not sure what decade.
Is that just stuck on right now, by the way?
He has no control over this. He just put that on and was like, peace out, bitches. I'm over you guys.
Yeah, I'm frozen now, too, apparently. What the hell?
Oh. Retool me. I'll retool you. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, no,
it's
just
this is cracking me.
It looks pretty good though, but basically it's like a prep school or a private school, and every year during the Christmas vacation, there's always a couple of kids where their parents don't pick them up, or they don't, they don't get to go home, and so some teacher always gets the short straw and has to stay Christmas break with these kids in the school.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. It's with Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. Yeah, so I'm going to see that tomorrow, Jack. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully that's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. Cindy was like,
Well, no wonder you married her. Yeah.
Well, she doesn't like Paul Giamatti because he's bald.
Wow.
I mean, Paul Giamatti picks pretty good projects.
Yeah. I want to say I heard him on
his dad did ban Pete Rose for life. That was
true.
The thing is everybody knows that
really
Pete Rose is going to get into Hall of Fame, but he has to die before it happens.
Yeah, he has to die first.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Which is ridiculous. I'm sorry. He should be in there.
He should be in, especially after all the shit that's happened in the last 20 years. It's like
steroids and let the roids and people into Roger Clemens.
But it's kind of like Moses bringing the tablets down from Mount Sinai and dropping 15. Them. Like God's like, you know what? You know what was in the other 5? It was like things about slavery. like it's kind of like of all the 10 commandments, you're like, really nothing about slaves? No, you actually put in there that it's
well, Moses was a slave, right?
Well, all of them were, yeah.
But one of the commandments is thou shalt not covet, other property, including like slaves. So you're not supposed to covet slaves. But what about just not having and owning people? Like,
well, to be fair, they only had room for 10 commandments on the tablet.
Right? They're like, well, we got to do these God
King
things.
James well.
Isn't there like I'm pretty sure I think it's George Carlin, one of his last bits where he did that, where it's like you don't really need 10 commandments, but 10 sounds official. It's like, so you have 10. He's like, and he breaks it down to where it's like, you really only need 4 or 3 or 4 commandments. Right. The rest of them are just kind of redundant. It's like,
well, isn't it in the
lie, steal, kill?
Isn't the Constitution all men are created equal?
Well,
except people I own. I mean, it's just
yeah. I don't.
Thou shalt not go swimming in blue jeans.
That was Randy.
Thanks.
That was
Randy.
Great.
So.
Still a source.
God, I fucking miss George Carlin, man.
I know it.
You can still see him on YouTube.
He's one of those people that was always a little bit ahead of the curve and always right for the most part. He could just.
You guys watch that?
Coming.
Dude, he would have a fucking field day now.
Yeah, you should watch that documentary that came out.
Oh, the 2-part. Yeah, that's good.
It's good.
I got it.
It's so good.
What's it called? Carlton something.
I don't know. It's just. I mean, all you have to do is just get on HBO and just search for George Carlin. You'll find it.
Yeah.
I remember you guys talking about that before, and I go, I got to watch.
It's really good.
About it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
it talks about how he in the 50s and early 60s, he just felt like he was kind of faking it, even though he was famous. And then, when you get to the late 60s, the inner rebel came out at him, and he really came into his own. But then by the time you get to the late 70s and 80s, he kind of was doing so many drugs and so many things where he just kind of was just regurgitating kind of the same stuff, and he actually became like a has-been. And then and that's when you get to the second part, is like the whole comeback and re-energization, energize George Carlin.
He's a really true philosopher, like artist in that way. It's like the fact that he goes through the struggle. He keeps pursuing. He doesn't kind of rest on his,
Right.
Well, what he's saying is true too. I mean, his bit with baseball and football, it's hilarious. Oh, baseball. It could go on forever. We don't ever want to stop. Football. We got time. This is it. Everything he says is true.
Early 2000s, he came out with that. Was it Brain Droppings? I think it was his album Brain Droppings. It was, and he also had a book. That book resided in my bathroom for like 7 years.
Nice.
It was the pre phone in the bathroom looking at shit online. When you actually had to read. I would read the fucking shampoo bottle if I had to, right? You're always just reading something you're taking a dump. And I had that book in my bathroom for like 6 or 7 years. It's a phenomenal quick read book. If you don't have it,
obviously not too quick. 7 years.
What's that?
Obviously not too quick if you had it in there for 7 years.
Yeah. I'm not a quick shitter. So.
Oh well. Yeah.
Well, he always had the audio book going and just kind of flip through the book.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Chris rolls.
Now
at least it froze on a good. At least it froze on a good face of you, and it wasn't like
Oh, thanks.
I don't know.
Are you saying like my face when it froze?
No, I know. I was gonna say a sponge.
A sponge. Fuck you.
And we should just go ahead and take a commercial break for sponges.
Oh, we probably should. Yes, it's 42 minutes in.
They're holy. Okay.
We're back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial.
Yeah. There's another show I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for this. It doesn't come out until February on Hulu, but it's called Shogun. And it looks fucking badass.
Is that
what you're watching? Shogun.
I think it's more of it's like a period piece back, in samurai era Japan, and it looks awesome.
What is the show Shogun that I it used to be on like TV what just randomly?
Right. What'd you say, Chris?
What network?
Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And the main guy was also in the last. Yeah, it's a miniseries, but the main guy was in The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. He was like the second in command samurai. I'm sorry, I always forget his name, but it looks good. Oh, and he was also. I think he was also in the new Mortal Kombat. I think he was like the.
It's fucking. What's his name?
what's his name? Yeah.
Carl
John
Weathers.
Wick. He's in John Wick
Yeah, he's also he was in John Wick. Yeah.
and Westworld.
hmm Yeah, he's kind of like the go-to Japanese any kind of swordsman kind of
He's in
thing.
47
Yeah,
Ronin.
Westworld. I didn't even finish that show.
I didn't either.
And I was podcasting.
The thing is, like I think Jay said it. I think or somebody said it. It was the season 1 is so badass, and then season two, like the mid season is good. Like but then the third season, like especially when you get like they always skipped over the crap you wanted to see. It's like, well, like where's the battle between the and like
when they left Westworld. It's just okay. This is just you're just trying to drag this out.
Hiroyuki Sanada. I hope I pronounced that last name, but Hiroyuki should be how you pronounce that.
I think Sonata is pretty good. Sonata. Banana.
And I always forget because I want to say like your first name in Japanese is like that's your family name, and then your actual name is the second name. But I always forget which one's which.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, from what I remember, like Sonata would have been his family name, but
okay, maybe I'm thinking Chinese then. Yeah. It's one of the two.
I mean, unless they, they may reverse it
for American people. Yeah.
Well, no, I meant like in the as you read or as you pronounce it in the sentence, but Okay, so real quick, I wanted to tell the other two guys, not Jack, because he doesn't care about Star Wars stuff. It's just like he's just like whatever. But you guys may remember this line from Revenge of the Sith when Anakin Skywalker says, "If you're not with me, you're against me." Right? And Obi-Wan's like, "Only a Sith deals in absolutes," right? We all know that that's like a line taken from George W. Bush, so from a speech that he gave. Maybe we don't, but it is.
I knew.
I was surprised because as I'm watching Enterprise, there's a moment in the season 3 final where the villain says those exact words, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, whoa! Like, is Star Trek doing that because Star Wars did it? No. It actually came out an entire year before Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. So they stole.
Well, it was kind of interesting because Enterprise does a lot of stuff where they're kind of cribbing on some Star Wars stuff. Like they have
Enterprise. Who's the captain of Enterprise?
That's Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula. Okay.
Yeah. Archer is his name. But they even have this these
name.
aliens have created this sphere that's going to go and destroy Earth, and it's basically got a laser on it. I mean, it's like a Death Star,
right.
I mean,
but there's got to be a flaw in it, right? There's got to be something.
Well, there's time travel involved. There's no thing that
they're going back in time.
There's definitely like some time travel stuff that have. Back in time, yeah. Okay, I see what you did there.
Well, I don't think I sent it to you guys, but someone actually did put scenes from Top Gun Maverick with A New Hope, like side by side. It's like, yeah, and you never hear anything from the audio of Top Gun Maverick. You hear a lot of the lines from Star Wars going like the trench, the target is only 2 meters wide, and it shows like every single thing that's happening in Top Gun Maverick. Like shit, because I remember just watching. This is fucking Star Wars.
Copied.
Yeah.
Well,
and I loved every second of it.
Maverick.
It's great.
Would be the one to blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, he does.
He wouldn't even need to use the Force.
But I'm saying he has the canyon run instead of the trench run. He has to fire something in a small little target. It hits, then it explodes the whole base.
Well,
it's the same.
Yeah, they couldn't use the Force, which is why they had to use the old school planes that they couldn't because they couldn't maneuver the new school planes that way. At the end of it, where he had to jump into the old antique plane because they couldn't get the right G's or whatever.
Right.
Plus, it was the only plane that was there that had fuel in it, and the keys were still in the ignition or wherever.
Yeah,
whatever they do.
Always keep the keys in the ignition.
He blew up the base in a Hornet. but
Did
like
he?
you know he had
No,
Then
But
the
they-
thing is he
but he-
bit
when
the
they
plane
crashed.
so bad they crashed, and then he went to
Yeah.
the enemy base.
Oh, they
and
escaped
captured the
in
Tomcat.
the old
Yeah.
school. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Before it
do
blows
some
up.
of that pilot
So
shit.
awesome.
Do some of that pilot shit, Mav, or whatever the whole line is.
That's good.
Great ball.
Someone should edit where he's being chased by Darth Vader,
Mm.
and then he says, "I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him. What's the line? I'm gonna let him catch up, and he's gonna fly right by. When he backs up, you're gonna what? And they can have that
Right.
part going.
My favorite one I've seen is it's 4 pictures, and it shows when Vader's behind Luke in the trench run, and he goes like, I have you now, and then all of a sudden R2 goes, wait a minute, Anakin, and then Vader's like R2, and he's like, you son of a, and then you see his head explode. You're like, you mother.
That's too funny. That's awesome.
Funny.
I saw a mashup of Ghostbusters coming around the corner in the hotel from the first Ghostbusters, and lighting up their proton packs, but then it goes to Luke Skywalker getting electrocuted and zapped. So
Did you see the trailer for the new Ghostbusters movie?
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't.
There's a new one
Yeah.
it'll come out next spring.
with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yep,
Paul Rudd,
Rudd's in
Bill
it.
Murray, Dan
Oh, Bill
Aykroyd.
Murray.
Oh, Bill
Really?
Murray's
Yeah.
gonna be in it. I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
I
Bill
saw he was
Murray's
in,
in it.
he was in the trailer.
Mhm. They have all.
I sure hope
three-
Winston has a big role in this one.
Winston's in it.
I hope he's just holding on to a Twinkie, at least.
It's called.
It's a big
It's
Twinkie.
got something to do with
Frozen
Frozen.
Empire.
Frozen.
Frozen
Empire.
Empire. Okay.
Yeah. So the premise is that there's like this entity that is literally scaring people to death. It's so scary that everything freezes and their blood freezes and everything.
Oh.
Is Carrie
Blah, blah, blah.
Carrie Coon was in the first one, right?
Yes, she's the mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I watched her on the Gilded Age. My guilty
Oh, yeah.
pleasure.
Really?
oh,
Well, yeah. I mean, it
the
makes
Gilded
sense.
Age.
You and Cindy
the
like
only show on Max right now.
Downton Abbey
Abbey.
so much. Yeah.
The music, it's similar music and it's similar style, and
Mhm.
Is it done
Yes.
well?
I just like it's got rich people problems, so I enjoy that.
She's also got the kid from Stranger Things is going to be in it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The kid that
Murray
can't
is-
act.
For
Yeah, the
sure.
annoying one. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Patton
can't act.
Oswalt is going to be in it.
Patton Oswald was in it. Yeah.
William Atherton's in it.
Oh,
Oh,
The Dick?
Is Walter Peck.
Yeah.
no, the man has no dick. Well, how old
Yes.
is that guy?
He's not too bad, but yeah, he's getting up
I
there.
had, I
I
had,
thought he was dead. I'm gonna be honest.
I had read. Chris,
Nah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I had read something or heard something about that he was going to be in it, which is kind of. I think at the end of the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie, they had a little teaser like they do with the Marvel movies, and they showed the that box that they have, the containment unit.
Yeah.
The one that Walter Peck shuts down. They show the
Right.
containment unit at the very end. It's kind of like the teaser
Mm.
with the light blinking. So the fact that Walter Peck is in it and that character, it might have something to do with that.
He's got to be
So.
80, right? 80.
No, I mean,
It's true. This man has no dick.
No dick.
there's no dick, yeah.
That,
You know, the
that
thing is
would
that
be
they
so hard as that actor because people know you from certain things, and that's like
Yeah.
the most knowable
Bio
thing.
dump.
Like
You can't help but look at it and think, oh, that's the guy
He's
with no dick.
76.
Thing is that like only that movie would make the guy actually doing his job the villain because he was. He's like,
yeah.
Well, no, that's true for
So
any
funny,
prison
dude.
movie. Any prison movie, you're always rooting for the prisoners, even the murderers, the rapists, and it's the guards who are the bad guys.
Well, and I mean, it's a plot in a lot of movies, but it's like, well, the EPA is inept, the government's inept, the mayor's inept. Nobody's gonna get the shit done, but the Ghostbusters are. They're gonna save this fucking city.
Lenny,
I
you would have
love this
saved millions of registered voters.
Yeah, but he fucks him over in the second movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lenny just
Yeah, the
gives him
second one
stuff.
should have never been made.
Oh, whatever. Get over it.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
It wasn't meant for you.
Terrible. It wasn't meant for anybody with taste.
I liked it. I like that movie.
Okay, hey, if you like it, that's fine.
And so does your son.
Well, my son, it just has to have Ghostbusters.
The
I love it.
pink
It's
slime
great.
thing freaked me out.
The pink
The
slide.
bathtub.
It just.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
I mean,
Mhm.
because the first one it's a perfect movie. The first one,
first
and the
one,
second
yeah.
one's not.
Sure, but
It's
Well,
not.
it's they run. I mean, they run into the same problems like with Indiana Jones or anything else. It's hard to get that villain. You know, the one that's really going to work. It's the same as like with even with Marvel right now. Like Kang on paper is a pretty good villain, but when it comes to movies, a time kind of guy, you're like,
well, and they have issues also with the actor too. So
that too.
You know.
Yeah.
But with this multiverse shit, it's pretty easy to just kind of change the character. So
I agree. I think that's actually they're going to do that.
It sounds like they're
stage 4 is a train wreck.
They're already talking about pulling in Robert Downey Jr. for Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, nothing like a Hail Mary to get the original.
Well, I mean,
back.
Secret Wars would be the one
maybe
to do it.
Maybe it's time to say, okay, let's go back to making movies.
Well, I mean, to me, it's one of those things where they almost because people get burnt out, especially with, there's the same superhero and comic book stories tend to be the same story over and over and over again.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
And so you kind of need to say like, hey, we're going to step back for a couple years.
Well,
and then
just to clarify, superhero and comic book stories are two separate things.
That's true. Yeah.
So sorry, I'm about to teach comic book history again in next semester, and I'm already thinking about those things. So
I had to explain the difference between a comic book and a graphic novel to my mother the other day because she's like, "Why are these comic books so expensive that your nephew wants?" I was like, "Well, they're not comic books; they're graphic novels." She's like, "What's that?" I was like, "It's like a collection of comic books. It's not a."
Is that porn? Is that another name for porn?
It's a graphic novel.
It's
very graphic. It's very.
Is that about Satan?
Yeah, it's very church lady.
That's special.
I don't know why. That was what I thought your mom would sound like. So
she's the church lady.
Yeah, she's actually in a lot of pain right now. She has a disc out of alignment. And
that is anytime you have back pain, it's because my back is really killing me right now. So
I think she either today or tomorrow she's getting an epidural, and then she's going for surgery.
Has she ever had an epidural? It feels because it's the weirdest fucking. I've had like 3 or 4. It feels like it's going through it's going to come out your leg.
Oh wow!
When they do it, because I get 2 every time. I haven't had one in a couple of years, but they push the second one. It's like, okay, this is like you can feel it going down your leg and coming out it's like coming out your foot. It's the weirdest thing. Of course, that was the doctor who said, "Hey, can you pull your pants down a little more?" I'm like going, "It's my back."
Oh right, that story. Yeah.
He goes, no, it's just I go.
Oh
yeah, it's okay, doc. Do whatever you have to do to get rid of the pain. If it means pain somewhere else,
Look,
and
after I stick this needle in, you're not gonna feel anything.
I like to put it
violated. You don't know it.
Yeah.
It was just weird because I'm like going, okay, but I do what the doctor tells me.
I had a coworker yesterday start a story, and he was having, he was in church.
Ramblecast.
Yeah, he was in church, but he started the story. Basically,
he was telling the story in church.
It's hard for me to set this up, but he was telling me the story, but he was sitting in church. But he started the story with, "So I was winking at a little kid in church the other day," and I go, let me stop you right there, okay? It's like you need to rephrase that sentence.
Hey, Michael
quick.
Scott.
yeah.
What is the thing that
he says he loves kids or something like.
Children, yeah, I'm a kid lover.
Kid lover or something.
Yeah, that's why my email's like kid lover or something. I can't remember. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying that.
No, that
was it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
no, there was more. I mean, he basically what it was is that some little kid was like, turned around on the pew, and like was making faces at him. Was
this a Catholic church?
He was playing with him.
A Catholic church?
I have no idea. I didn't get
because it would make sense. So he's the priest.
Exactly. That's why I was kind of like, you need to rephrase that sentence, buddy.
Yeah.
But
You want to be an altar server? Come on, buddy. Come on.
I'm assuming.
I got
also,
something for you.
Well,
you guys have seen that
I
kid
got a
in
big
the Halloween
Twinkie.
costume. He's the Predator. Have you seen that video? So there's a kid who
Did
dressed
no
up
one
as
just
Halloween.
hear what he just said?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
I was trying to.
What did he say?
What?
Jack?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Must have been good. Chris is laughing.
The edibles
Chris
just
is
kicked in.
high.
It's been
Oh,
about an
that's
hour.
true.
Chris is hearing things. All right, he's hallucinating.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's a short video
What-
of
what did you
a
say
kid
about a
dressed up
Twinkie?
as.
Did you say something about a Twinkie?
What do you guys? I don't even like Twinkies.
No, I just thought it was a Ghostbusters callback.
Hmm.
That's one big
No.
Twinkie.
Jack was referring to the priest saying he had a big Twinkie.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's a pretty big Twinkie.
Oh,
I still got to use it. Okay, so anyway,
yeah,
I'm
kid-
listening to your story. That's why I didn't hear
Right,
them.
right.
So go ahead, Nick.
But a kid dressed up as the Predator, from Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, the Predator,
Oh,
and
okay,
he comes out in his costume, and his dad's like, "Oh, that costume's great! Like, what are you?" And he goes, "I'm the child Predator." And then the dad's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with something else for that one."
I'd like the website childpredator.com.
Oh
Okay,
I watch
so,
those on TikTok. It is just the people get caught. They're just like, man, you're just a dumbass.
so unrelated to that completely, but maybe the flip side of that. My wife at school today, she was teaching, and this kid just slowly is getting closer to her, and then he kind of like lunges like he's going to give her a kiss, and she had to like kind of like, yeah, like the kid was just like ever so slowly getting closer, and she was like,
What age?
like I don't know, kindergarten, first grade, like
Wow.
like that level, yeah. But he has a learning. He's behind, so she was like, this kid's like on the level of 2 almost,
Oh,
Mhm.
So, but she had to kind of, it was just like this thing, like she's reading and going over this, and this is what she does. She's a reading coach for her school and for all of the lowest students at her school. And so she's working with this kid, and all of a sudden she looks up and she sees him coming closer, and she's like, she just gets up, she's like, okay, like, and then he wants a hug, and so she gives him a hug or whatever, and then and then I think they continue to like do the reading or whatever he has to do. But I was like, this kid's trying to mack on my wife.
Back off!
better go down there.
Back off, dude. Yeah, like I show up tomorrow, like,
Hey, you kid.
yeah,
I'm
what
the
you
husband.
doing?
Steals his fucking milk.
Oh.
Hey, fucking kid, you answer to me. You want snacks? It's snack time? Fuck you.
I'm taking your nuggets.
Yeah, man.
I going back to Halloween costumes. My favorite one was, I don't know if you guys remember, Randy Johnson was pitching a spring training game. And
Oh, dude.
And he obliterates his bird.
The bird, yeah.
I saw that.
Someone was dressed as Randy Johnson, and his wife was dressed as the bird.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's a big ball of feathers.
I said that is the best costume I think I've ever seen. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't get it, but I mean, literally, he threw 100 miles an hour, and the bird is it's just all you see is feathers, because it's just perfect timing. Well,
It reminds me of that Ted Lasso episode where the person kills
the dog, right?
Kills an animal and has to like deal with like the anguish.
Yeah.
So
That was my favorite costume.
There's a couple good ones I saw. There was one that Jack, you'd appreciate. It was a Caddyshack costume. And it was because like, what do you do when you have like a 4 or 5-year-old who can walk and trick or treat, but you have a baby as well? And so what they did is they dressed the baby up as a gopher, and then had like had a green over top of the carriage,
that's
and so
cool.
the baby was like up out of the turf, and then you just had a pin, So it was pretty cool.
And they put
so what was
dynamite
the toddler?
I didn't see the
gopher.
toddler, but like,
Oh,
it
okay.
was just,
Oh, the toddler wasn't the gopher?
No, the baby
No,
was
the
the gopher.
baby
was the
was the
gopher.
gopher.
Yeah.
They had like him like sitting up through the grass, as the gopher.
I just would love to have seen like a little toddler dressed like Bill Murray with like a
He
5 o'clock
probably
shadow
was.
and like like has a robe on or something. I don't know. Like
He's dragging the hose between his legs.
He's in the hole.
exactly.
Trick or treat. You know you want
Oh,
it.
man.
You know you want it.
Hey, a little something.
This show has
for
gone
the
to
effort.
hell. That's all.
It always
What?
goes to hell. That's what it is.
I don't know.
I was, I didn't. We were talking about Halloween last week, and I meant to mention this, but I just happened to watch Little Shop of Horrors, and I hadn't seen that. Yeah, I hadn't seen that in years, and it was interesting to kind of go back and revisit that movie. A unique crossover where Steve Martin and Bill Murray have never been in a movie ever. Like that's the only time, and they play such odd characters that are really
I
kind of
guess that's
almost
true, yeah.
completely against their. I mean,
Type. Yeah.
Bill Murray's like a sadomasochist that's just like going into the dentist and just wants to be like hurt, and the dentist is, Steve Martin's playing the dentist that just wants to hurt people,
Right.
and then he's just upset that he can't hurt him. But
It's funny that you would think that would be a good pairing for a movie to have Steve Martin and Bill Murray in a movie together.
right.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
not always. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know if you ever seen Where the Buffalo Roam, which was Bill Murray. Yeah, it's or like 81 or 82, and it was Hunter S. Thompson. When people who like Hunter S. Thompson, they always think
I've
of
seen
Fear
that
and
one.
Loathing, with Johnny Depp, which is excellent. But the first attempt to make a Hunter S. Thompson type movie is that, and Bill Murray doesn't do a bad job, but it just doesn't work.
It's just not memorable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've seen that movie. I remember images.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
Like that's what I
Same.
say. It's
Like,
just
I couldn't tell you what happened in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been
But Fear and Loathing, however,
Fear and Loathing is
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah.
fucking
Well, it's
awesome.
like the three amigos. You have Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. It's just like, okay,
So
that
good.
movie's going to be funny.
Mhm.
The singing
Movie was awesome.
tree, Invisible Man.
To me, like both, because you have both back to back. You have Three Amigos and Spies Like Us. I love both of those movies so much.
Mm.
A lot of people don't like Spies Like Us.
I
but
love Spies Like Us.
The Three
I thought it
Amigos
was
didn't
funny.
do so well. It didn't do as well as what they
I think it
they
became a
thought.
Three
cult
Amigos
classic.
was referenced
It
recently.
was
I can't
more
remember
of a
what it
cult.
was from.
It's a cult, yeah.
I mean, I
Same-
like when he shoots the invisible. Why would you shoot? You shoot up.
Yeah, sure. We both
There's
shot up.
there's
Yeah.
so many memorable things, like
That's Randy Newman, by the way.
How can you
It's
tell that
invisible.
it's like a male plane?
Singing
It's
bush.
like, oh, look at the balls.
That's right.
So
I like when they're going through
Three
the
Amigos
desert.
was in something recently. I can't remember what it was, but I was
he
watching
gets the
something.
sweater. He's like, "You got me a sweater."
No, you talking about Three Amigos? No, it's
Yeah.
sweater. He's
No,
happy.
I like when they're
uh,
going through the
yeah,
desert and it puts I think Martin Short just has a
Oh yeah, just
or Steve Martin just has a drip and then Martin
Yeah.
Short's
sand.
dirt comes out and
Yeah.
Chevy Chase
And Chevy's-
Just
Yeah.
chunks it.
throws the bottle on the lip balm.
It doesn't. I think it's
I mean, there's so many like good old like I even liked when they
And
first
Guapo.
get
Guapo.
down to Mexico and they're in the house and they're giving them dinner and Chevy Chase cannot figure out how to use a soft tortilla and and he just meat keeps falling out of the bottom and he finally just goes, "Do you have anything besides Mexican food?" He's just like, "What the hell?"
Well, the guy that plays El Guapo, I'm watching an old Gunsmoke about a year ago, and I'm like going, "Who is that guy?" I looked at it was El Guapo.
Yeah.
He was playing a bad guy in Gunsmoke, but he was
Alfonso
Same
Arau.
as Romancing the Stone. He's in that, and of course, I always knew him, even though that was made before Three Amigos. When I saw, it, I was like, "Hey, that's the guy from Three Amigos."
yeah. Three Amigos
he's really famous. You'd call him. I'd say he's famous.
Famous. Yeah.
And then the Look Up Here. That's the other one that I always remember. Look up here. Look up here. Yeah, so.
Oh, and then
There's a lot
like I still to this day will do the mail plane joke, and
Yeah.
like 90% of people don't get it. I'm like, "You fucking idiots."
You've never. I gotta watch that. That's been like 20 years since I've seen that movie.
It's so
Easily.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what like, we've talked about this before. Like, that's one of the things I love about the 80s. There's so many small budget films that were never going to be blockbusters, but they're so damn good, because they're just,
Well, it's interesting. So, like today, I stayed home. I wasn't feeling so hot earlier today. Kind of a little bit of a stomach bug, and my daughter had a half day, so she came home early, and we watched. This is one of those moments for me. We watched The Goonies.
Oh.
Seeing it, that's my favorite movie of all time.
Mhm.
And then immediately following, she put on Back to the Future.
Oh, nice.
Has she ever seen Back to the Future?
It's her favorite movie of all time.
Oh.
She absolutely loves Back to the Future, which is kind of awesome. She like it's hands down. She's probably watched that movie more than I have at this point. She watches it all the time.
Oh.
But were we talking about this on the show when someone came up with a conclusion that Back to the Future and The Goonies took place on the same day in the same universe?
I want to say that I'd seen something about it recently because it was
I can never remember if I bring it up
25th.
on the show or not because I'm usually whatever. But
Because they both took place on October 25th.
On October 25th, they narrowed down the dates because the newspapers and the Goonies and blah blah blah, this and the other. So they determined that
I've only seen the Goonies once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's literally my favorite movie.
I don't think Jack would like it though. It's kind of like Princess Bride with Jack, because I think
I remember enjoying it when it came out, but I didn't see it in theaters. I think I watched it on HBO.
Yeah, but so supposedly it all happened on the same day.
Really,
kind of cool. But
go back in time.
80s movies.
I wanted to say this before I forget it. Going back to Halloween costume. So the other one that I thought was really good, but I also wanted to go, why? Like, why would you do that? Was a little girl dressed up as Neverending Story, and she's pulling her bag of candy, which is sitting on top of a Atreyu in the swamp. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you make me relive that moment?
Artax.
Sorry. Yeah, Atreyu. Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, it was very good. I mean, what she did.
Dude, there's a documentary about Neverending Story that's coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
It's I think you have to pay for it. I don't think it's streamable. I think you have to buy it. But it looks amazing. So the lead character that played Bastion lived a fucking Greco type lifestyle after that. Like he's a little bit rough.
Swimming in it.
Apparently he also
get old.
broke his back during the production on the horse.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So he was on painkillers.
Yeah, and he was all fucked up from years past. Check it out. So there I don't know what it's called. Probably just Neverending Story, the documentary. But
I like it when they do that stuff.
The story never ends.
Like I told you, like the one
on and on.
Yeah, the one for Galaxy Quest, which is Never Give Up, Never Surrender, I think, is really good. If you still haven't seen it, because I know Matt should watch it because to me, Galaxy Quest is probably in the top 5 best Star Trek films ever.
Life After the Neverending Story.
Life After the Neverending.
I've seen Galaxy Quest pretty recently. Like I'd say maybe even
good.
during my Star Trek rewatch, I've watched it. So
I've seen that like 2 or 3 times, but I think it was in the same year,
and
I haven't seen it.
I mean, it's going back to cult classics, though. That's one of those other movies also that didn't do too well at the box office, but people love that film. I mean, I do. I mean,
it's like Slapshot didn't do
Slapshot,
didn't do squat in theaters, and people love it. I watched it about
Willy Wonka. Yeah,
Willy
Chocolate 71. That's what's interesting about a lot of those 70s and 80s films is that they became success because they were so cheap for the networks to just keep airing them over and over again. To which same as like Christmas Story from '83, like it was not a hit,
right? But they made it a hit.
They made it.
You shoot your eye out, kid.
I think I say this every season, but always worth watching 8-Bit, which is a great kind of.
We talked about that.
Yeah, it's a great
8-Bit?
kind of. Yeah, it's a good holiday movie that is in the vein of A Christmas Story. It's they did the Christmas Story sequel I think last year, and it was just
they were older, right?
Potatoes. Yeah,
I never saw it. I didn't know.
But I'm telling you, that other show, 8-Bit, is worth a watch.
Was Porn Kid in it?
No, Porn Kid is not in it.
The kid that gets his tongue stuck to the pole is.
It's not. It's not a direct sequel. It's just in the vein
I mean,
of it.
you
It's
know.
kind of like like.
Is Ralphie in it?
It's no.
It's not. You talking about the sequel or you talking about 8-Bit, Jack? Which one?
I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Christmas Story.
So you're talking about 8-Bit as a movie that came out a couple of years ago?
The sequel to Christmas Story, yes, he's in it. Yeah.
With
Ralphie's in it,
Doogie Howser?
Correct. Doogie Howser's in it. Yep.
Yeah. And Steve Zahn.
So.
Steve, you can't go wrong with Steve.
It's worth a watch. I mean, we're not quite to the holidays, but man,
if it has Steve Zahn in it, I'll give it a shot.
Unless he's getting his penis out.
Oh yeah, Steve Zahn is it.
He's great in that thing you can do. That thing you do.
Yeah.
You've never met
He's the dad.
He's great in that trucker movie too, where the guy is a serial killer. With what was the guy that died in the driving the Corvette? Was in the Fast and Furious movies.
Paul Walker.
The most recent thing I saw him in, and I was White Lotus. He was in season 1 of.
Yes, he was White Lotus. Yeah, we get to see his dad.
Oh,
we get to. He says.
I don't think that was his
dad.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because that wasn't the first thing that came to my mind.
I'm just saying.
I was,
I say he married Connie Britton. I love her.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you pointed it out. A tour de force performance is what you're saying.
Yes.
Jack's just like, shut up. But we get to see his penis.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Distinct pleasure in all.
I didn't write the movie. I
viewing
didn't
his
write
dick. Let's back to the cock.
Back to the cock. You got the cock? I got the cock.
Get the cock. Watch Killing It. That's been my show of the week.
Killing it.
Have any of y'all watched the South Park episode yet? I haven't seen it yet. The one where they're making fun of Disney.
No. I haven't
okay.
watched South Park.
I love the thing you sent, the Van Halen thing. Was that a recent one?
That
one.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, but that one, it was just, it's so perfect for what's going on right now. But that was a few years back. Yeah, but that's a good one.
I said, wow, that is funny.
We come together to celebrate under one symbol. Van Halen. And then you have that one guy just going, Eddie!
If only people would just listen to Van Halen, we'd have no wars. That and Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, and Rocky 4.
So bad. I've been noticing a lot of changes.
Yeah, when I came, you were booing me, but now, and what happened? The wall came down. The Cold War ended because of Rocky. Because of Rocky.
The only way you can have peace is through fighting. Is what the message is.
You got to beat the shit out of the cheating Russian.
We got to fight for peace.
In it 30 for 30, like they make fun of Rocky 5 or 4 for that.
Which one?
They made it. Didn't ESPN make a fake 30 for 30 where they call it? Where they it's so good. It's so fun. Yeah, and it's basically like, they're treating it like a real documentary, like it really happened. And it's like, who would have thought in this incoherent speech at the end of this boxing match that Rocky would have changed the world, and then they show like everything happening.
I think I saw that. Really, I might have been high when I saw Rocky. It was either Rocky 3 or Rocky 4. I was pretty stoned when I saw it. It was a good movie. I love Rocky. It's my favorite.
1 through 4. You can't. Yeah, it's
I like 5. I like 6.
No one likes 5.
But who would win in a fight? Who would win in a fight? Rocky or Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Well, Darth Vader would cheat, but no, Rocky has heart though.
Darth Vader didn't have to do it. He can just stand there and go.
Yeah, but
it's kind of like the debate of like who wins.
No, he's getting mad.
Who wins, Darth Vader or Magneto? It's like who gets their hands.
Who would you have sex with? Would you rather have sex with Rocky or Darth Vader?
Darth Vader is pretty hideous. He's pretty hideous. When that helmet comes off, you look at him and go, man, he's pasty white.
The best.
You guys
Am I
really
right?
should start looking at the Instagram more shit I send you guys because I mean, God, I send some of you, I send you guys.
That was the best one, dude. It was so much fun. The fucking burnt hot dog.
So basically, all right. So Matt, I sent probably like 2-3 days ago where
This wasn't sent to me. That's why I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. So basically, you see the first image is of a burnt hot dog, and then you see Natalie Portman going, "Oh, are you grilling out?" or something like that, and then you just see Hayden Christensen just go like looking at her, and she's like, "Oh my god!" Like, it's like
I wasn't worthy of that.
I
It's so
do see
good.
stuff. I do see stuff because the Van Halen thing. You sent the Van Halen thing in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I saw that on there. So
So
yeah.
all right, so
Yeah,
so
I
Jack,
do
the reason
look.
why you
It's
probably
not
didn't get that
all
because there's a group in Instagram just called Nerds, and so we do send each other Lego stuff, and I assume you don't like it, so that's why I don't send it to you. But I'll send.
Yeah.
I'll send it.
I don't
to you.
care.
See if I can-
And there's a lot of sex stuff that he sends us too.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and we don't. We want to keep you. We want to keep you. You know.
I got to make it 35 years. I can't have any sex stuff. I got to be.
I
pure.
try. I try.
Oh, what else?
You said that there was an email, Nick.
Oh yes, there is.
We
an
just
email.
got a letter. We just got a letter.
That's the music for the letter.
Let's go out to the lobby.
Let's go to the lobby.
Actually, yeah,
Grab
okay, here we go.
ourselves a snack.
All right. Feedback. Hey, Jack, Nick, Matt, and Chris. I want to tell you I really enjoyed the first half of the Halloween episode. It was so nice to hear people with fresh ideas and not have to listen to Jack. I'm kidding. That it wasn't really.
What? I was shocked.
No, that's it. Okay, I really enjoyed the long. I really enjoyed the long episode post Halloween. I gave out Play-Doh for my gift to a group of older kids that came by and seemed to enjoy that. I only had 8 trick-or-treaters though.
Oh.
I recently watched It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown with my 7-year-old goddaughter. She asked a lot of questions about Charlie Brown that I couldn't answer. I didn't remember many of the details. She was confused about Snoopy and the Red Baron, but we enjoyed watching it. A celebrity
it is a hilarious side mission, by the way.
It is, yeah.
Like you're just kind of like, wait, what? Why are we in World War II all of a sudden? Why is this dog?
You got to have because Snoopy was the big sell back then. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
Snoopy was
Yes.
It wasn't the bald headed kid getting rocked. It was Snoopy, Joe Cool.
Yeah.
A celebrity
But, you know,
death that
that-
affected me.
With Snoopy.
was Heath Ledger.
Snoopy.
That was really sad.
Oh, sorry, you cut out.
I
there, Nick.
didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. A celebrity death that
whoa.
affected me and wasn't mentioned was Heath Ledger. That one was really sad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was-
And after you mentioned Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun, I had that song stuck in my head for the rest of the day. So thanks for that.
that wasn't my fault.
It did get a little annoying after a while, but it made me smile at first. Maggie the Magnificent or Maggie the Mandalorian.
Ooh, yes, that is her other moniker.
Randy said
I
it
won't-
was Snoopy was World War One.
World War One.
Bloody Red Baron.
The Red Baron.
War One.
Yeah.
Red Baron.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I got the
I-
trophy.
But I think that's why
I
that's why
blame-
they had it in there because you got Linus, who's the idiot, every fucking year waiting for the Great Pumpkin, and the Great Pumpkin never shows up.
I feel like he is a nihilist in some ways, dealing with the reality of false ideals.
But looking back, you got
oh
you got the Easter Bunny,
sure,
you got Santa Claus, you got all these. Why couldn't there be a Great Pumpkin? Why couldn't Linus get his? Why couldn't he get a
I
gift?
mean, I'm just saying that it's the
His parents
sadness
don't care.
of,
Want, and bring him a toy.
it's the sadness that is the reality that there is none. Didn't come.
I know, but again,
He
why
believes
not?
in nothing. His God
Why-
is dead. It's
I think
like the
Charles
ultimate
Schultz
like
was
fuck
kind
you
of
to
a
kids.
was kind of a
Saying I
dick.
believe in
Think
this.
about it.
Shut the fuck up. No.
That's my take on it.
I just say, okay, hey, give the kid a break, give him a toy. He's putting a lot of effort in there. He's in a pumpkin patch.
It's more on the parents for like, first of all, their kid is unattended. Well, I guess it was the 60s. Is just asleep in a pumpkin patch. The daughter is actually the one that like is like, oh, I better go get him.
Lucy,
put him
who's
in
the
his
biggest
bed.
bitch in the world, right?
Oh, for sure. But she's going
She's
to
a
wait until
bully.
about 4 a.m. And she's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to bring you in, put you in your bed. But she at least does
She's your
that.
favorite, though, isn't she, Jack?
No, I hate Lucy. She picks on the ball-headed kid. So,
That's a reference joke from Nick. I got it.
Yeah.
I
don't get it.
He's saying that you married Lucy.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. Except I'm not paying my wife 5 cents to fuck me over left and right, dude. Like Lucy's doing
She does it for
Charlie
free.
Brown. Yeah, exactly. But isn't that the biggest crock? I mean, why is Charlie Brown giving Lucy, who?
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because Lucy always pulls the ball away right at the last minute.
Exactly. Yes, she does.
Last second.
I'm not going there. I got to make it a 30.
Okay.
At least.
Well, I'm only led to believe that Lucy does use the pull-out method.
I'm trying to say that Lucy edges Charlie.
Shit, you said that.
That's the episode title.
Oh man,
Lucy, you wait for like the darkest. Last week we had just a very simple, but no, can never have it that way.
Why is Chris sending Texas?
As long as you're not in the title, Matt, I think you're usually happy.
I am pretty happy. I'm really.
Anyway, I just give the kid. I 1 year I would like to see Linus get something. I mean, he's got. Well, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
It is frustrating.
I mean, he has the blanket.
Yeah,
Sally's there.
I think his redemption comes in the next. Well, not the next holiday. That's Thanksgiving, but
You're talking
Christmas though.
Yeah.
Because he gets up on stage and he gives the true meaning of Christmas. So
Yeah. Didn't we talk about that though with the blanket and things he does? Did we talk about that? There's a hidden symbolism
I think
in that
dreaming
speech.
that.
I
No.
hope it's not like white supremacists.
No, it's because
they got symbols
he
everywhere now.
He always needs the blanket because he's insecure. But like when the one time he ever gets rid of the blanket is when he's talking about that.
Christmas,
Christmas, and he throws it to the side because it's like that was the whole point of it.
Well, it's like you look at the Thanksgiving one. Franklin's sitting by himself.
Yeah, I mean,
well, at first there's like 400 chairs on Franklin's side, and then when you see Franklin eating, it's just there's no chairs.
Yeah. Well, they were gonna when Franklin first appeared as a character, which I believe was after Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember my history here a little bit, but he introduces Franklin, and there were several newspapers that were going to pull it. They weren't going to publish it, especially in the South. And Charles Schultz at the time,
cartoon people.
He was very popular, and he was basically like, kind of like, if you don't print it, like I'm done.
That's the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so he had the balls to kind of stand up to it and be like, either you print it or yeah. So
that's good. I did a video though. I thought Franklin and Charlie Brown are brothers. At least brothers, because they look exactly alike.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at them, they look exactly alike. I think that Chuck's dad and Franklin's mom kind of hooked up.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah. That's an interesting theory.
Y'all did see the last token centric episode, right, of South Park that happened like a year or so ago?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So you know who Token is, right, though, in South Park?
Yeah, I know who Token is.
Okay. So it's a classic because they make, I think it's Stan or Kyle, one of the two, his name is actually Tolkien, not Token, and he's named after but the whole time they're like Token, and he's like, you think my name is Token, like the token black guy? And he's like, no, I'm named after Tolkien. And like it's this whole running joke.
That is hilarious,
and it's so good. It's
Leave it to South Park.
That's really good. Yeah, it's very smart.
Smart.
Those guys
funny.
are fucking smart.
Yeah, they are.
They're still going strong.
How long is it?
Like-
It's got to have been 20 something years, right?
97 is first year.
97.
Wow.
So you're going to make me do the math.
Yes.
Okay.
26 years.
No, 26 years. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's crazy because like I remember buying the first few seasons on VHS when you only could get like 4 episodes per VHS, and they were like $20 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then now today I
money
can
wasted.
stream every episode for free. Yeah.
And then the movie was fucking
Oh,
amazing.
yeah, the movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want it. Was that all American thing?
No, not the
Bigger,
not
longer, uncut.
like bigger, longer.
Oh, you're talking
longer,
about
yeah.
that
the
basketball?
cartoon South Park.
Basketball?
Not basketball is great. No,
I
not-
like
not
basketballs. I didn't like the American
Enormous
thing.
Wieners. Yeah.
American.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Team America.
Team America.
Team America. I
America.
just liked it when they
Matt Damon.
America goes in and destroys something, and they said, "There, we took care of it for you." Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I found it pretty hilarious. I liked the whole end speech that they give about dicks and assholes, and so
I guess you would.
it's funny. I liked the puppet stuff.
I just maybe I was tired. I just
Sure.
Go back to Charlie Brown. So Chris, remember to watch it. Bon Voyage Charlie Brown when you have time. And then Jack, have you ever seen Bon Voyage Charlie Brown?
what's it about?
So basically,
A murder
By Charlie
mystery
yes,
on the Orient Express.
Charlie Brown, Peppermint Patty,
crime
Linus,
thriller.
and someone else. They all
Marcy?
get selected. Marcy, yeah, they get selected to go to France for a student exchange program, and that's the one that I watched the most as a kid, and I've
probably seen it. It's
yeah,
not
I
clicking.
always enjoy it because I think it's the last of the classic era of Charlie Brown before their
voices changed.
The voices changed, yeah.
Yeah,
And
they went
I
through
always
puberty.
like it, because that's where I first learned any kind of French at all. Like they do speak
oui.
some French in it, and then like there's this whole scene because and actually Snoopy is by far some of the best stuff in that because he goes to Wimbledon and plays and gets kicked out of Wimbledon, and then he goes to a bar every night, and of course he's drinking root beer, but you see Snoopy get drunk. And it's just a lot of weird shit that happens in it, but it's good.
The original Charlie Brown voice, the guy went to jail, if I remember correctly. He did something. I can't remember what it was, but he did something. Went to prison.
Huh. Well, I wanted to tell you, Nick, that
They're
on
related.
Peacock-
But see, John, they're related.
on-
Sally and Charlie Brown, they're related.
Yeah.
Good, Matt.
So Nick, on the cock is Garfield.
Oh,
You should
I'm
watch
talking
it.
about the
Title. You have the
talking about
On the
cock
cock.
on the cock.
On the cock.
on the
I
cock.
think you just took over the reins of the episode title. Fucking
Is-
yeah.
is Garfield. So all the Garfield you want is on the cock right now.
Well, I own.
You've
I own.
got the Halloween,
Yeah,
Christmas. I think.
yeah.
the
I own the
Thanksgiving.
I own the DVD with
You own the
Halloween,
cock. Is that what you're saying?
Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah.
It's no. He says that he owns Garfield,
Oh, okay.
but they have other Garfields
I
too.
own
Like okay. Well,
I mean,
I was surprised. I was
get
looking for
Heathcliff,
more
and then you've
Garfield.
got me.
Heathcliff.
He was.
Well,
He
I
was
just
always.
always remember. I mean, so Jack, before we were talking about that as well, because like we were talking. That's how we got into the Great Pumpkin debate. Is that I always watched Garfield's Halloween over the Great Pumpkin.
Were they at the
'cause
same
it's just-
time?
I doubt they were created at the same
Different
time.
channels.
No, I'm saying a different chat. I'm saying it was like 8:00. And
No, I just preferred to watch it. If I had to pick one to watch, I would watch Garfield's Halloween.
Really?
Because it's I don't know. It's got its moments that are really
Are you a
good.
communist? I mean, I don't get it.
I mean, you gotta
He's
love
just-
the
he's
you
more
know,
of a man of
hey,
his time.
kids! You know, just you know, I mean, I just
Yes.
liked it because you know Garfield and Odie
You hate
dress
Jake,
up as
you hate
pirates.
James Madison because it was Charlie Brown was sponsored by Dolly Madison, so you hate-
Oh, yeah.
you hate the fourth president of the United States.
I hate those Federalists. Yeah.
But I was surprised at how much they had some other Garfield stuff on there. So anyway, if you have the cock, there you go, Nick.
We should
Just
we should
like-
be sponsored by the cock, right?
We've really been
This
promoting it,
Ramblecast is
you know.
sponsored by the cock. Get it now.
You can watch Sunday Night Football on the cock.
Yeah.
So,
Only problem with the cock on football is
Yeah.
sometimes it's
Okay.
not a strong sight, so sometimes
yeah.
it doesn't rise to the level that you
Really?
want it to.
huh?
That happens with a
Okay.
lot of guys.
Because sometimes it's just hanging there. You're like going, "Come on, cock."
Yeah.
Chris, you're muted.
Right. Do something more.
Yeah, come on. I'm messing like the whole third
I just
quarter
made
because
7 Jack Cock jokes in a row. I was muted the entire fucking time. Oh,
because you know
Fuck, it was
it's
fun.
true though. I
I'll
mean,
say
I'll
some
be
funny
watching the
shit.
cock, and I was like,
Yeah,
what do
yeah. I know you
mean?
like to watch the
It's
cock.
buffering. It's buffering. So it's like teasing.
yeah,
me.
there's some medication that you can fix that, Jack.
Tell that to the cock because sometimes it just doesn't.
Maybe you should have low T. That's it.
I mean, men your age typically do have some of these issues.
Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I hear, you know, if you have low T, you know, it will stimulate follicles that have not been activated in years.
Really? Is that it? Is that what it is? I
Well,
blame
I
Chris
mean-
Collingworth because sometimes the cock doesn't work when he's talking. So
Matt just left. So.
yeah, Matt said, "I'm out of here. This cock talk's making me excited."
No, I just remembered that I was mobile. I had my mobile.
I'm
headphones
going
on.
mobile.
Mobile.
Okay, so before we end tonight's show,
We should
should
end it
we
soon.
should
We
we do
should-
a new versus?
That's as I said. We
Um,
should at least say who won the last verses. We haven't talked about it. It
I forgot
was
that was a
Midnight Blue. Whoever was Midnight Blues, who won,
Midnight Blue beat Royal Blue.
or was it Royal Blue? I mean, I'll look it up.
I don't remember which one it was.
I think it was Royal Blue that won. Yeah, it was Jack. Jack won, I think.
Oh yeah. You had mentioned that Jack won. He's got the Facebook demographic down.
I'm barely on Facebook anymore, to be honest with you. If it weren't for family, I'd probably delete it. I
Gotta
probably
keep
would.
scrolling. Gotta keep scrolling.
So I got to come up with the verses.
Dang, it's really buried in there. I blame Scott. Starting all these damn threads.
It's okay. He's not listening anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Royal Blue won. Yeah.
Royal Blue. All right, I'm gonna pick one.
We lost Jack at this possible
did.
moment. Yeah, he was gonna say, "I'm gonna pick my favorite racing sport." Go.
Favorite
horses,
cock.
cars.
best cock. Best cock.
Do you like?
What he did?
We really actually did lose him.
Yeah, he's
I'm frozen too.
It's
There we
Oh
go.
yeah, you are. Yeah.
it's like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire over here.
My sister sent me
Nice.
one the other day that I thought was like, oh, we could do something like that. I always like it when, you know, like they give you like 9 photographs. They say like, you know, choose one of these people to protect you and the rest of them are going to kill you. Like, it's like, let's see if I can find it.
Or here's like
Oh.
7 different foods and only 2 of them can stay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, those are always fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the ones that are memes. I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say.
Oh, fuck. Where does it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. So here it is. All right. So it's like, okay, pick 2. They will defend you. The rest are all coming to kill you. So the pictures
shit.
are John
Yeah.
McClane,
Okay.
Indiana Jones, John
All right.
Wick, Ethan
Okay.
Hunt,
Just Ethan
James-
Hunt.
Yeah, just
Okay.
Ethan Hunt. Yeah. James Bond, Jason Bourne, The Terminator, Batman, and Rambo.
Fuck.
So
Terminator and John Wick.
Batman, John Wick.
Chris and I picked the same too. Yeah,
The only reason
my-
I mean, the Terminator will never give up, but Batman, he's got the smarts and he's got the gadgets.
That's what I said. I was like, look, and because like she wanted me to defend my choices, which were John Wick and the Terminator. I was like, one, I was like, you know how hard it is to kill a Terminator? I was like, it's extremely hard. You know, I was like, and then John Wick,
There's like 78 movies, so you can't do it.
You can't do it. I was like, and then I was like, John Wick is the boogeyman. I mean, you can't kill the Baba Yaga. You just can't do it.
Nope.
I was like, the only threat is Batman. I was like, because of the money and the gadgets. That's it. Everyone else is going to go down like a $2 hooker. Just,
I agree. And that's why we won't buy porn anymore. Welcome back, Jack.
Yep.
Jack, can you hear us?
Yeah, he's just pouting.
Jack's idea for okay. Jack's idea for a versus is like pick your favorite.
Jelly bean.
Israel.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. I'm glad I came back for that. Oh man. Trying to get his band there.
Favorite South American country. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Favorite country in the Middle East. Let's see.
Favorite communist country.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard me. I said, why don't we go with best Steve Martin movies?
Oh, okay.
Movie. So we were talking about Steve Martin earlier. I said, okay. And
Have we
there's-
done that before?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have, but it's like, there's so many to choose from.
A lot.
My Blue Heaven.
Pennies for
Actually, I mean, I know which one I would probably pick, but I gotta look up some other ones just in case.
Well, do we have the dice?
Yeah. All right. Who's dicing first?
Well, Jack
you pick.
won. Oh, he gets to pick us, right? So
Matt, you're rolling first.
Okay. All right.
13.
Yeah, 13.
Way to go,
Nick,
Matt.
second.
yep, I'm sure.
That is
7.
a 7.
Fuck.
Jack,
Yep.
11.
I love
Woohoo! Still in the lead.
And me,
Damn! He's got that thing
I got
rigged over
17.
there.
Chris had 17, so I'm third.
Best Steve Martin movie.
Right? I
Sergeant
know.
Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
My God.
Oh, Chris gets to go first? That's bullshit.
I'm going to have to go with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick, Chris.
Yeah. It's just one of those movies that I've probably seen maybe 758 times, and 740 of them were like pieced together from all the time I sat down, just watched like a 45-minute chunk of that movie because it's just timeless. You can watch it whenever.
You know what? I think you're fucked.
Oh, is that right?
Mhm.
Oh. It's just one of those.
We're a good
one of those
team.
movies that I really fucking love watching.
I use that and I always say, beautiful country though, all the time.
But yeah, my pick is Plane, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's a good pick. That's a good bingo.
All right. This is really, really tough because my first go-to would always be The Jerk. It's still, but we talked about Three Amigos. and
Yeah.
it really had me like. It's in that '80s pocket, and you got Martin Short and Chevy right there with him. So, and it's a little bit more less zany than what The Jerk is, which is what I love about The Jerk. Oh man, it's got such a he hates these cans. Anyway,
I was told I had a special purpose, and one day I would find out what that special
that
purpose
is
was.
shit. That's Shinola. Anyway, so tough. But
Whichever one you pick, I'm picking the other one.
you're picking the other one. I don't blame you. I mean, it's
Because I'm looking. There's a lot of movies I would pick, but it won't win.
Mhm.
It won't even have
Right.
a chance. That I
well.
really like.
I even think Father of the Bride has got a great.
Father
chance
Bride's
with,
excellent. Parenthood.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, Parenthood. Yep.
The
That's a
Man
good
with
one,
Two
too.
Brains.
Okay, I'm going with Three Amigos. It's right kind of more in the heart of that 80s time period of production for him. So Three Amigos.
All right, I'm next. I've got to go with. I was a huge Steve Martin fan. His comedy. I had his album. We all did his. Happy Feet. We'd be at Pottery Games. Happy Feet. And when The Jerk came out, just solidified that he was the best. And so I got to go with The Jerk.
Solid pick.
I would have gone with Three Amigos, but I was looking at Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid and Man with Two
Ooh.
Brains. Those are great movies, but I don't
Man with
think
Three-
most people probably haven't even seen or
Get
heard.
that cat out of here.
Yeah,
That is like
What's
one
that
of my
cat doing in
favorite.
here?
Yeah, like it's like he's in a surgery, and there's a cat that keeps meowing. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's a hilarious throwaway line, but so good.
but I got to go with The Jerk.
Okay. If I wanted to get votes, I probably would pick what's of remaining. I would probably say Father of the Bride, but I'm not going to pick that because it's not. I'm just going to be honest. My guilty pleasure movie of Stephen Martin films that was not a hit is Sergeant Bilko. I actually like Sergeant Bilko. But I'm going to go with Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Because I really like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's kind of a sleeper hit. People either know it or they don't. And
Yep.
I've always loved Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's a great mix of Michael Caine and Steve Martin together.
Juggling, yeah. I
and
think you
it's
could have gone
just-
with Bowfinger too. 'Cause
I almost thought about
Bowfinger.
that was Eddie Murphy's last funny movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's probably another one in there that's pretty good too, Steve. But I mean, I know if anyone wanted to pick Pink Panther, I would have killed you.
Yeah. I was like, come on, Steve. And they made a second one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and no one asked for that.
It's like, come on, man. It's Peter. So you can't. No.
And I realize that some people may not have seen this or heard about this, but they did do a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels called The Hustle, and it's I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. So yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
I don't see how you could make it any better though. I mean, you have
It's
three
it's
really
different.
good actors. In that movie.
I know, and if I told you the actors that were in it, you'd be like, no, it's not going to be good. But it's worth it. It's worth a watch for sure. So
Steve Martin
Anne
in it?
Hathaway,
Anne
Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson are like the two
Oh,
main.
yeah, who are
um,
neither are funny. But, yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's not
Wait,
bad.
skinny Rebel Wilson or heavy Rebel Wilson?
Why you gotta be waitist?
I'm just saying because
Why do you got to be waitist?
I'm just saying it just
Cat
you don't-
juggling, yes, Randy.
I mean,
Yeah, cat juggling.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels has the Emperor Palpatine in it. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
It's so good.
I saw like the
So I
previous
just did a
walk.
quick-
They just-
Oklahoma.
Isn't that where they were
I
walking
recently-
along
I
and they pushed
recently
the old
just
lady into
watched-
the water?
Chris, what
Yep.
were you saying, Chris?
I recently just watched Cheaper by the Dozen with my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I just looked it up real quick. Bonnie Hunt, who played the mom,
Yeah.
who I thought was a pretty hot mom in that movie.
Yeah.
I just looked it up, and she was younger than me when she made
Yeah.
the movie.
And now
Crazy.
she's old. And now she's older than you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was 2001
But
when
that-
it came out.
That's what
She
blows
was-
my mind.
She was 41
Yeah, that's what blows my mind about getting older is that, like, when you're a kid and those movies come out, you're thinking about the kids, like, oh yeah, she's cute or whatever, and then that's mom's a mom, and then as you get older, you're like, damn, like she's pretty hot, It's like, even if she is like 70 now, but like, or whatever, but it's like she was a smoke show back then. He's like, even think about Tommy Boy, with Bo Derek, when she gets out of the pool, she's only like 40 years old in that movie, but
is that for me, Dad? Nope, that's for me.
That's for me.
Yeah,
I mean, Terry Garr and Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I just watched Young Frankenstein.
Thank you.
So,
yeah. Don't have a roll my head.
The candle back.
I mean, but she was. I mean, yeah. I mean, she's even good looking, even in Mom and Dad Saved the World, which was like 91. Terry Garr was a good looking woman.
That's with the child molester, right? The guy from Ferris Bueller.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah.
He did. He just had child porn on his.
Yeah, but Mr. Mom, and I mean, she was always good
Mr. Mom, yeah. And she was on Friends. She was Phoebe's mom on Friends.
That's right.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Friends connection there.
But she has what did she have? MS, right?
Yeah, yeah, and she kind of went downhill.
Sorry, we're just getting random about things now, but that sounds like a good versus. So
it should be competitive.
And for those people that chime in and say, what about
They're not listening right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many good ones. That's why we have to pick something that's got a lot of,
I mean, that's it's one of the testaments to Steve Martin. Like, I think most artists, and it doesn't matter if it's music or movies or whatnot, would just like to have one thing that they can be remembered by, in the future. Steve Martin's got several that people will watch.
Well, and I mean, he did L.A. Story.
Yeah, that's right.
There was Roxanne.
Yep.
Shop Girl, right?
Yeah.
So, wait, what?
He wrote that one. Yeah.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
No, Shop Girl.
Oh,
Shop Girl. He wrote. Yeah.
If you watch it, if you go on and search Johnny Carson, Steve Martin, it's hilarious. I mean, just.
There was a young clip of him going on the Instagrams of him juggling, which is just hilarious to watch.
The Smothers Brothers.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Smothers Brothers was the Sonny and Cher show. He used to be on a lot of those shows.
Yep.
The Smothers Brothers.
He wrote Bowfinger?
He what?
Yeah.
He
wrote
Bowfinger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And his autobiography about stand-up comedy, Born Standing, I think.
Yeah, I read that.
The audiobook for that is really great too because he reads it, so it's kind of a fun listen. So yeah.
So to hearing my voice, I could have heard his voice. Is what you're saying?
You could have, yeah. So it brings a whole new dimension to it.
Well, his comedy was different. It was. I mean, a lot of people didn't get it, and a lot of people didn't like it. But
you've seen that Martin Short. I'm not sure what award Steve Martin was winning, but Steve Martin's up on the stage like before he comes up, and and he's like, he's like, yeah, because I've known Steve for a while, and then Steve will look at me every now and then and go like, who do you think the best comedian was in the late 1970s? And I go, of course it was you, Steve. And then what does he say? It's this whole bit, but it's very Steve Martin. I mean, Martin Short, and it's
well, they their banter back and forth when they hosted SNL. They said that they worked on that for like almost 2 years. Like it was really kind of part of their like it was like a long kind of back and forth, like of just that development of them building up that banter and this kind of
One Saturday Night Live when Tom Hanks hosts his fifth SNL, they go to the room with the 5 hosts.
Five
he goes,
timers.
Mr. Martin. He goes, no, you can just call me Mr. Steve Martin. And then Martin Short comes in and he goes, of course he's serving, or was it John Lovitz or Martin Short was serving because they hadn't had Martin Short had hosted 5 times or whatever.
Oh,
right.
So he's just got that knack about him. It's
the
funny.
5-timers, the 5-timers,
5-timers club.
The 5-timers club. Yeah.
I like when it was Paul Simon was getting, I think, the presidential award. He goes, he's going. I know when Paul called me, and he said, he goes, I got this song, 46 Ways to Leave Your Lover. And he goes, you know what? I think you should do 50.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we've talked about that like you because Paul Simon is by far the most person who's performed on Saturday Night Live the most. But I realize one is because he lived near
Lauren Michaels. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I wouldn't call them. He said they weren't like total neighbors, but they were like lived roughly close. And he said that so like whenever. Good. Yeah, but he said like whenever he didn't have anybody at the last minute, he could always just say, "Hey, Paul, come down," and Paul would just show up and play some songs and then go back.
I like when he has Garfunkel. Art Garfunkel's there. And he goes, oh, you came crawling back. Anyway, good times. Is this a good spot to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Because I think Chris is tired.
We've almost gone 2 hours. Yeah.
Can we do another commercial break?
Another long
time. We should probably. I'll just throw it at the end.
Sure.
But
right.
It is
this
funny
time
how time just flies.
A commercial break. All right, we're going to wrap this show up. Thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. Sorry about any confusion about it. Next time I'll pin the link so you people can see it.
Did you hear how he talks to you? You people?
You people.
You people. And you know who you people are.
The Patrons.
But thanks for joining us live, though.
Yeah, we enjoy it. And sorry if we rambled on too long. Sorry about if you don't have the cock. It has a lot of great shows on there. I'm telling you.
Get the cock.
The Office is on.
You can pay monthly for cock.
You do. But if you watch commercials, it's not as bad. I finally finished Magic City. That came out. Finally.
Now you tell us.
Yeah, I forgot all
at
about
the end of the show.
It's like okay. It's okay. 2 seasons was good enough. But anyway, we're going to thank our patrons. We thank all our patrons who help support this show. But this time we're going to thank patrons to reach a certain level. We're thanking Eckhart Richter Glaffelder, Maggie that Magnificent. Thanks for the email. Joanne with the plan. We haven't heard from Joanne in forever.
Where you at, Joanne?
And she was.
Well, it's not like we hear from Ed. Like, don't put this on Joanne.
I see Ed all the time. I mean, I hear, but I'm just saying. No, I'm saying with All Mankind coming back, she works for NASA.
Sure.
She should be. Hey. Send us an email every now and then.
Okay.
Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
I'm not putting any pressure on our patrons.
At least the episode title won't be Jack Hates Women Part 2. So
you're still living that one down.
I was like,
and that's why he pays for the cock.
Cindy goes, what?
Episode title: Jack pays for the cock.
Jack pays for the cock. Well, Cindy goes, what did you say about women? I go, I don't think I said anything. I think they just threw me under the bus.
Jack pays for the cock monthly.
Jack pays for the cock. Without commercials.
Yeah, it's definitely
I don't want to waste time with commercials. If I'm paying for the cock,
Jack pays for cock
Patreon
without
helps Jack pay for his cock.
Exactly.
Let's just shorten commercials down to COM. People will get it.
Anyway, That's all we got. Hasta luego, and good.
See ya.
That's my line. See ya.
Because com would be like come. Get it?
Oh.
You really didn't have to explain it.
Just had to spurt that out there.
Cock monthly.